Hey guys, and welcome back to a JackaldudeGames gaming video. Today, I'm bringing you some more VR content. So, if you've invested into a VR headset, or you're thinking about doing so, it's safe to say you have a certain game in mind. Maybe you're looking for the most realistic first-person shooter, or maybe you're looking for an intense and immersive racing simulation. Or, if you're like me, you really just want to sword fight. You want the realism of a sword fighting game. And the thing is, I know you're out there because I posted a top 5 sword fighting video early 2019, and that's actually my best performing video. You can find a link for it up here, or one of them. But I'll be honest, that video wasn't more of a top 5 sword fighting videos more than it was I found 5 sword fighting videos. The game library back then was pretty small, and it has grown in droves since then, especially for the Oculus Quest. So today, I'm going to tell you my top 5 sword fighting videos specifically for the Oculus Quest. Don't worry, if you have a different headset like a PlayStation VR or another PC VR, I will put icons at the bottom of the screen for each game indicating that that game is also available for that platform. Guys, if anything I say to you is valuable today, be sure to give me a like and hit the subscribe button for more of this content in the future. So, number 5, we are going to start with Ninja Legends VR. I think Ninja Legends is the best sword fighting game for beginners, or beginners in VR in general. It doesn't have you move, it is very arcade style, sit there and slash a bunch of bad dudes, so you don't have to get used to teleporting or locomotion travel. It introduces the parry system where you can parry or block another weapon with your weapon, stunning the bad guy and giving you an opening to attack, which rewards you for playing more defensively rather than just whipping your sword around like a wire whisk. The game also features a bunch of different enemies and different bosses, which then have their own unique abilities for you to discover and overcome. Also, ninja powers. Not ninja powers, but in slow motion, and slow motion kills are never not cool. Number 4, Swords of Gargantua. I hesitate putting this down to number 4 because they try to tackle a lot of things for sword fighting games. For one, it allows you to block and parry attacks, opening up your opponent once again to a flurry of combos. They mark specific points on your enemy to achieve these combos to then achieve maximum damage. The primary mode of this game is climbing a tower, fighting enemies on every floor. But in my opinion, the most fun mode in this game is this tower defense mode, which is multiplayer. So you and up to 3 of your friends can go in together, defending this tower from waves of enemies and giving you a real skirmish battlefield type of feel. You can be fighting one person, bring them down, and then realize a buddy of yours is struggling with whoever they're fighting and you can go assist them. You can also revive downed players. It is the first game to really bring a multiplayer aspect to a sword fighting mechanic, and I'm excited to see more games do this in the future. Number 3 is Sorento VR Untethered. Sorento VR was a wild success on Steam and other PC VR platforms, and they did a pretty good job adapting it to the Oculus Quest. I will warn you though, before booting up Sorento, make sure your VR legs are strong. This game features a lot of sliding, jumping, wall running, slow motion, all the things that usually cause newcomers to VR to get some kind of motion sickness if you're not adept to wearing a headset. But using these slow-mo, high jumps, slide mechanics literally gives you an infinite array of options to take out these enemies. I mean, you're a cyber ninja who has swords and guns. Doesn't get much cooler than that. And again, slow motion kills are always awesome.
Number 2,
we have the Vader Immortal series. There's 3 of them. Now, it's kind of no surprise that I ranked Vader Immortal so high. If you look at half of my videos on this channel is mostly about Vader Immortal. I even have a quick 4-minute guide giving you tips and tricks to beat more levels in the lightsaber dojo within Vader Immortal 3. You can check that out up here. But that being said, Vader Immortal brings a cinematic and well-written story to this sword fighting game, which most games in general for VR don't have. Even though the story missions are short, the bread and butter of these games is the lightsaber dojo, having anywhere from 20 to 40 different levels for you to complete. Using your lightsaber to deflect blaster shots back at your opponents, throwing it at people, deflecting other lightsaber strikes from these melee droids, literally gives you the feeling of being a complete Jedi badass. Okay, I think I fanboyed about it enough, but for real, it is also another sword fighting game that is very beginner friendly because most of the encounters have you staying completely still while defending yourself or attacking at afar. I will also admit Vader Immortal 1 is the only one where you don't get force powers yet, so in essence, Vader Immortal 1 is probably the most sword fighting out of all of the games, but your lightsaber always plays a very key part in your combats. Again, if you couldn't tell, I have a thing for Star Wars. Okay? Sue me. Number 1, Aaaand Lights VR. As much as I love Vader Immortal, I cannot ignore the innovation of sword fighting VR game that Aaaand Lights brings to the table. They are the first, and I think only game that properly turns these sword fighting mechanics into a PvP competitive setting. They have somehow taken the VR sword mechanics we have developed over a very long time and mixed it with a turn-based RPG energy resource game, if any of that made sense to you. Hit the like button and subscribe for more of this in the future. It works like this. 2 opponents stand on this platform in front of a giant simulated crowd. You have energy and you have different types of weapons. Each of these weapons have different ranged abilities, and they also have different weights and damage values when you swing them. You can then charge at your opponent. Once you charge at your opponent, you start reducing your energy. This is basically a time limit for you to wail on your opponent. During this time, your opponent cannot attack you, they can only defend themselves. Also, during this attack segment, everything is in slow-mo. Remember, everything's cooler in slow-mo. Then after energy runs out, you go back and you start replenishing your energy. Your opponent can do the same, and you would have to then defend yourself. Again, all in slow-mo. The best thing about this game, because it's slow-mo and some of the weapons are slower, it forces you to be strategic with your energy and how you move your weapon. If you try to move your weapon too fast, it won't respond the way you want it to. And on top of that, this game is incredibly content creator friendly. After your match, you can go into the save replay option. There, you can record portions or whole matches in a third-person rotating view. Also, all those attack portions that were in slow-mo are now sped up to real-time speed. So all of those precise blocks and attacks you did in slow-mo, they make it look like you did that in a split of a second, and they make you look like a complete badass. I'm excited to see what other things Aaaand Lights comes out with in the future. I would really like to see a squad multiplayer mode. But guys, there you have it, my top 5 sword fighting games for the Oculus Quest. Again, if any of this was helpful and maybe made you more confident in purchasing your first VR headset or not, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to then see more of this in the future. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.